Hi there, my name's Martin Rapley, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about a common mistake that I see property investors making when they're looking at properties that they can convert from a house into an HMO. Now, one of the common things that I now see property investors wanting to do with their HMOs, and it applies to me as well, is that we want to put in en-suites. We want to put in as many en-suites as we possibly can. That in itself is really good in the longer term because clearly it improves the room rents, it gives you the opportunity of refinancing the HMO onto some kind of commercial product. But I wanted to just flag up that there are some challenges relating to installing en-suites. And so when you go looking at properties, it's really important that you establish exactly where the drainage is in connection with the rest of the property, because ultimately all of these en-suites somehow need to connect into that drainage. And typically the drainage is at the back of the property. So you want to be looking at the bedrooms that you're creating at the front of the property and working out how you can connect that drainage through. Now, typically it's a little bit easier if you're on the first floor or even the second floor, because clearly you've got some height to work with and you've got some opportunity to get out and put pipes up in ceilings and in floor voids and things like that. So the ones that you really need to be considering though are the bedrooms that are either in the front of the property or perhaps sometimes in the basement front of properties. They can be even harder. How do you get this 4-inch soil pipe from this en-suite location in towards or back towards the drainage that, as I say, generally at the back of the property? There's not always enough space in floor voids. Have a look at things like chimney breasts that stick out from the wall. How do you get around those? You can't have a pipe that's got lots of kinks in. It has to generally be a straight pipe from where it comes out of the bathroom, where it comes out of the toilet, out towards the back of the property. Or it could go into a vertical stack pipe, but it needs to be a straight pipe to that stack pipe. If you start putting in bends, then you'll be forced to put in things called rodding eyes, which are those little covers where you can unscrew them so that if there's a blockage, someone can take that cover off and they can jet or rod the pipe in either direction to clear the blockage. Whereas if it's a straight run, of course, they can just go straight down from one end or the other and clear that relatively easily. So as I say, the rooms that are going to cause you some challenges are generally on the ground floor. And they are generally the ones at the front of the property. So do consider how that drainage goes round. Now, if you've got a raised timber floor, the kind of typical floor we'd have on a Victorian style property, you may well find there's a good void underneath and you might have some opportunity to put the drainage down there. Of course, if you've got a cellar or a basement, that makes it even easier. But other times you might find the only way of actually getting a toilet into that front room would be to install a macerating toilet. And I know that macerating toilets, Saniflow is one of the main trade names that people talk about. I know they've got a bad reputation, but I would just leave you with one thought about macerating toilets, and that is they've got a bad reputation because they are easy to block up. In reality, they're not easy to block up if you follow the rules, and the rules are you mustn't put anything down them other than toilet paper, of course. So as soon as you start throwing wet wipes and rubbish and other things down it, that's when they block up. And of course, if you've got a macerating toilet in a shared bathroom where several tenants are all sharing a bathroom, when it blocks up, no tenant takes responsibility and you've got a problem to deal with. However, if you've got a macerating toilet in an en-suite bathroom, then clearly if it gets blocked up, it is one tenant that has caused that particular issue. And so I would suggest that it is possible to write into a tenancy agreement some means of reminding them about not putting anything else, wet wipes and things down the toilet, but importantly, what happens if they do, which is, in the first instance, you can't use the toilet, and second instance is an emergency plumber needs to come out and unblock it, ungunge it, and make it all work again, for which there's a cost. So I would say don't discount macerating toilets. I know they've got a bad press. I think they are right to have a bad press in shared bathroom environments, but less so in an ensuite environment where clearly only one tenant is actually going to use it. So hopefully this video has been of use to you. Don't discount ensuite, but just be aware that there are some that are particularly tricky to install, therefore it's much more costly, but there is a way around them by using macerating toilets. So do like and share this video. My name is Martin Rapley. I look forward to catching up with you on the next video.